You're listening to Manx Radio, and I'm Judith Lay, welcoming you to the podcast of Today at the Guild, results and winning performances from the 2022 Manx Music, Speech and Dance Festival. I've been reporting throughout the week. It's been my absolute privilege to do that. We've had a great week down at the Villa and seen some wonderful performances in all the disciplines. So tonight, for the last time, sundown will be going to the Guild. And what I'll be doing on the programme for the first couple of hours, I will be bringing you the entire Sheffield Plate competition. That's the competition to find the most promising young voice in the festival. These young people all qualified for the Sheffield Plate by winning their solo voice class, and those are graded according to age. So you're going to hear some very, very young singers and some slightly more experienced, but they're all within the acceptable age range for the Sheffield Plate, which starts at the age 5 and goes up to age 15. So it's divided up into classes, and age-appropriate songs are allocated to each of the age groups, and then the winner of each age group competes for the Sheffield Plate. So I'll bring you all of that, and then also we're going to bring you the Cleveland Medal Test, a chance for you to hear the wonderful voices, 6 wonderful voices who each competed for the Cleveland Medal, the highest award that the Guild has to offer to adult singers. And if you thought that classical music was perhaps a little bit boring, a bit outside what we would normally choose to listen to, well, think again, because all the people who sang in contention for the Cleveland Medal, they've chosen great pieces of music, and in many cases you might not necessarily recognise the title of it, but certainly some of the melodies I know that you will recognise, and I'm sure you will enjoy. So let's start with the Sheffield Plate, and as I say, the award for the most promising young voice in the festival. We've had some very, very good adjudication all through the week. The adjudicators are really keen that everyone taking part will enjoy the experience of being in the Guild, and also will take away perhaps a few little ideas, suggestions, tips to improve their performance. So, the Sheffield Plate. Lots of young voices for you to listen to now, and we're beginning with Penny Lavery. Now, Penny won the group for ages 10 and 11. So that tells you her age. She's somewhere between 10 and 11. Her accompanist is Madeline Kelly, and these are all set pieces. The competitors have no choice in this. A song is set for their age group. And Penny Lavery is going to sing for you now a song all about the Jaguar. Penny Lavery singing there, all about the Jaguar, and she was accompanied by Madeline Kelly, winner in the group for 10 to 11-year-olds. Next to sing is another of the older competitors, the older contenders for the Sheffield Plate. Older, says I. This is from the group aged 12 to 14, singers aged 12 to 14. And this is the group winner, Zac Colligon. He's accompanied by Frank Woolley, and his song is called The Wizard. Zac Colligon.
With pointed hat and nails like claws and a terrible smile on his face, the wizard sits behind locked doors in a cell in a mountain place. Around the walls of his magic den, laid out in endless line, are books of spells for him to cast, and bottles of magic wine. With horny hands he waves his wand and scatters upon the fire a powder which burns with ghostly light as the flames rise even higher. His lips recite a magic spell, the flames dance on the walls, and shadows deepen on his face as on his knees he falls. As I turn the page of the picture book, the scenes change endlessly. Kings and queens and palaces and galleons on the sea. But whenever I look at the picture book, I linger at the place where the wizard sits in a mountain cell with a terrible smile on his face, and books of magic spells to cast and bottles of magic wine, and all the time his wicked eyes are gazing into mine.
It has to be said that these songs, whilst they are essentially age appropriate, they are quite tricky when you listen to what's required of the singers. I think they do brilliantly. That was Zac Colligon singing for you there, and he won the class for singers aged 12 to 14. His accompanist there was Frank Woolley. Now we're going to hear one of the tiniest voices, and this is a young man in the 5 to 9-year-old age group, and his accompanist is Wendy McDowell, and his song is all about pirates. This is Theo Hills.
The pirate ship is coming, we know it's on the way. The pirate ship is coming, we've seen it on the way. The skull and crossbones on the mask and wild noisy crew. The pirate ship is coming, and it's after me and you. Yo-ho, butter from pirates like to have the fun. Yo-ho, salty breeze had to sail the 7 seas. The captain wears an eye patch, a cutlass in his hand, and on the bridge beside him a faithful pirate stand. A skull and crossbones on the mask and wild noisy crew. The pirate ship is coming, and it's after me and you. Yo-ho-ho, butter from pirates like to have the fun. Yo-ho-ho, salty breeze as I sail the 7 seas.
Well, I think that all these youngsters do absolutely brilliantly to get on the huge stage in the Royal Hall, because that's what they did for finals night. And I think for our younger and less experienced singers as these are, I think that's a tremendous achievement. You were listening there to Theo Hills, who was singing about the pirates and their bottle of rum, and his accompanist was Wendy McDowell. He was in one of the lower age groups for 5-year-olds up to 9. Another young singer is going to entertain you now. Now, this young lady is from a very musical family, and she's keeping up the tradition, I think, in fine style. We're going to hear from Cara Rowles now, and Cara won the class for 8 and 9-year-olds, so again, a very young voice. She, again, is accompanied by Wendy McDowell, and the set song for Cara's age group is all about a little Spanish town. A class-winning performance there from Cara Rowles singing The Little Spanish Town, accompanied by Wendy McDowell. Now, we've heard from Penny and Zac and Theo and Cara, and we've got Breesha, Kirsten and Lila who are going to sing for you after the break. One of them took home the Sheffield Plate, but which one? You'll find out in a few moments.
Manx Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you with Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook or spectrumwindows.im.
And for the very last time, we are going to the 2022 Manx Music Festival. This is our last report, looking back over the two big competitions, the Sheffield Plate that took place last night and the Cleveland Medal Test that took place on Friday night. And also, I'm going to be playing some lovely choir music for you. There were some wonderful performances yesterday from young choirs and from our more established ones, our adult choirs, and hoping to be able to play some winning performances there for you, some beautiful music to share. So as always with our Guild reports, a great variety of music, because that's what the Guild is about, variety, all the disciplines. From the wonderful dancing that we had last week to start the festival last weekend, right through to brass bands, to choirs, solo singers, solo voices, spoken word, it was all there. It's all come back after the big gap that we had. It's come back, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger, because there are a number of people that I met during the week who said, oh, you know, I thought, maybe I wouldn't put in for the Guild. I wouldn't put an entry in this year. You know, it's all been a bit uncertain and everything, you know. And now they were saying, I really wish I had. I'm really sorry that I didn't put an entry in. So I think that next year we're going to be bigger than ever. I really do. Anyway, let's get back to the Sheffield Plate. We've heard from Penny, Zac, Theo and Cara. Now, let's listen to Breesha Kelsey. Breesha won the group for ages 12 to 13. Her accompanist is Frank Woolley, and the set song is called Friend of the Ocean. This is Breesha Kelsey.
Feathers
And that was Breesha Kelsey and Friend of the Ocean, accompanied there by Frank Woolley. Kirsten Loach is going to sing for us now, and her set song is a very familiar one, a traditional folk song, I would have termed this, but I think a very lovely arrangement of it. This is Klaus winner Kirsten Loach from the age range 14 to 15. Her accompanist is Wendy McDowell, and Kirsten is going to sing The Water is Wide. Somebody else who comes from a very talented musical family, and that's Kirsten Loach. And Kirsten was a class winner in the ages 14 to 15 group. Her accompanist, Wendy McDowell, and The Water is Wide was the set song. So we have one more person to sing for you. She is a young lady of 6, and you are now going to hear Lila King. And it is Lila King who won the Sheffield Plate. This is her first guild. Her very first guild, and she took home the Sheffield Plate. Her accompanist, once again, is Wendy McDowell, and her song is called Out in the Garden. This is Sheffield Plate winner Lila King, aged 6.
And
I just had to let you hear that thunderous applause there for Lila King, 6 years of age, and she won the Sheffield Plate. She was accompanied there by Wendy McDowell. Chatting afterwards to Lila and to her mum, and I discovered that her teacher is Olivia Landals, and so talking to Olivia then, I was kind of suggesting that was a lot of Lila's talent just natural, completely natural, and she said, she said there is a certain amount of natural talent, yes, but she said at 6 years of age, she said she is prepared to work very, very hard. She said she really does, but in the practicing, she works hard. It doesn't just, doesn't just expect it to happen. And I thought at 6 years of age, that promises that we've got a little star in the making there, I would say. But whatever happens, the important thing is that she enjoys her music, and I hope she comes back and has lots more guilds with us. You're listening to Sundown, but Sundown a little bit different. Sundown is at the Guild, bringing you the full Cleveland Medal Test is what's coming along next. And then after that, some of the wonderful music that we had yesterday with the choir classes. But big congratulations to 6-year-old Lila King, the winner of the Sheffield Plate this year. And now, the Cleveland Medal Test. The Cleveland Medal, the highest award that can be given to adults taking part in the Guild. And the qualifying conditions were slightly different this year. Well, quite different this year. Previously, there have been 3 voice types for women, 3 voice types for the men, and it would be a winner of each of those solo voice classes would go forward to compete for the Cleveland Medal. But this year, they've tried a different method of qualifying. And so they have all the special solo classes for each voice type as before. But it's the 3 highest marks from all 3 male voice types taken together, and the same for women. So instead of having, one of each of the voice types, we have had 2 sopranos and 1 mezzo and 1 bass and 2 baritones, because they were the highest marks in all of those voice type solo classes. So a slightly different way of qualifying this year. But the Guild is always prepared to look at different ways and respond to suggestions that have been well researched and have some substance to them. This was a change to the qualifying conditions for this year. Whether it will remain so, we will see. But this was how we determined our finalists this year. We're going to hear from our mezzo-soprano, and this is Debbie Gooding, who Debbie's personality just kind of bubbles out. She really, really looked as though she was having a great time at the Guild this year. And we're going to listen to one of Debbie's songs. There were 2 songs. It wasn't exactly a set song, but all the competitors had to choose one song from the works of either Mozart, Rossini or Quilter. And then they could have one of their own choice. And we're going to hear a song that I think will be familiar to you, but listen out for just a few little variations as Debbie Gooding sings Art is Calling for Me. Her accompanist is Frank Woolley.
Mama is a queen and Papa is a king, so I am a princess and I know it. But court etiquette is a dull, dreary thing. I just hate it all, and I show it. To sing on the stage, that's the one life on me. My figure's just like Tetrazzini. I know I'd win fame if I sang in Bohème or any opera by Signor Puccini.
Screechy, peachy, cat, a breechy, like other fat girls.
Lovely, lovely voice of Debbie Gooding, who just had a brilliant time in the Cleveland Medal final. Art is Calling for Me was her song there, and she was accompanied by Frank Woolley. Now, under this new way of qualifying, it meant that we had two people who had not qualified before for the Cleveland Medal test. It was a first time out in this particular competition for Morag Withy, and Morag will be singing for you after this break.
Manx Radio. Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you with Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook or spectrumwindows.im.
And now we're going to hear from one of the two sopranos who qualified for the Cleveland Medal test on Friday night. And that is first-time entrant Morag Withy. Morag has sung in the qualifying classes many times, but this is the first time that she came through to the final. And as I mentioned a moment or two ago, there were three set composers that the singers had to choose from: Mozart, Rossini or Quilter. And Morag's choice was Mozart, and this is Morag Withy singing Laudate Dominum, and Morag's accompanist is Madeline Kelly.
Lord,
Woolley singing Laudate Dominum by Mozart, and she was accompanied there by Madeline Kelly. And that was how she contended for the Cleveland Medal Test in the Royal Hall at the Villa Marina on Friday night. Let's hear from one of the gentlemen now. And we're going to hear from the man who took away the Cleveland Medal at the last Guild that we had in 2019. And he's Matthew Quinn. And he was singing in great voice again this week. He was in a number of classes and gave us some fine singing. This is part of his performance for the Cleveland Medal. And it's by opera by Verdi, Un ballo in Maschera, Masked Ball, and it's Matthew Quinn to sing Eri tu. And Matthew Quinn's accompanist is...
Alzati, la tua figlio, a te concedo rivide, nell'ombra, nel silenzio, il tuo rosa l'onta mia nascondi. Non è su lei, se la fragile petto che il capite girò. Altro sangue a te gette si la fessa, il sangue tuo e lo traì il funale dallo strialto cuore della lacrime vendicator. Eri tu che macchiavi quell'anima, la delizia dell'anima mia, che m'affidi ed un tratto esecrabile, l'universo allevi per me, avveleni per me. Traditor, che compensi tuo il guisa dell'amico tuo primo, dell'amico tuo primo la fe. O dolcezza per tuo memoria, donam presso che Amelia si bella, si candida, sul mio seno brillava d'amor. Quando Amelia sul mio seno che loda la morte nel vedovo cor. O dolcezza per tutto, o speranze d'amor, d'amor, d'amor.
And that was some fine, fine singing there from Matthew Quinn, accompanied by Patricia Cullen. And as I said, with the new way of qualifying, where it's the highest marks, we had 2 baritones in the Cleveland Medal final. And because they were both from 2 baritones and Patricia was playing for all the baritone voices, Patricia is also the accompanist for the next singer that you're going to hear, who is Neil Taverner. And for Neil, as for Debbie and for Morag, it was a first time qualifying for the Cleveland Medal. But just to give you an indication of what is considered a high mark in these classes, Matthew, who you just heard singing there, he had 92 marks, and Neil, who you're going to listen to now, had 91. And that was the general standard across the classes, very, very high standard. And I think very interesting to see how the general feeling is about this new way of qualifying. But I certainly hope that you're enjoying the selection of music, because we've got Neil Taverner to sing for you now. And as I said, one piece had to be from Mozart, Rossini or Quilter, and the other piece an own choice. We're going to listen now to Neil's own choice, and he did tell me afterwards that this is a particular personal favourite of his. And here's Neil Taverner to sing for you Vaughan Williams' Silent Noon. Again accompanied by Patricia Cullen, Neil Taverner.
Your hands lie open in the long, fresh grass. The finger points look through like rosy blooms. Your eyes smile peace. The pasture gleams and glooms 'neath billowing skies that scatter and amass. Go round a nest far as the eye can pass, a golden king-cup fields with silver edge, where the cow parsley skirts the hawthorn hedge. 'Tis visible silence, still as the hourglass. Deep in the sun-searched growth, the dragonfly hangs like a blue thread loosened from the sky. So this winged air is dropped to us from above. Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower, this close companion in articulate power, when twofold silence was the song. The song of love.
Silent Noon, the voice of Neil Taverner, accompanied by Patricia Cullen. There are 2 more singers for you from the Cleveland Medal Test. One of them took the medal home with them. You'll find out who very shortly.
Manx Radio coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you with Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook or spectrumwindows.im.